it's an environment that is simply not able to keep up with that kind of moisture. You're going to hear a lot about climate change in the hours to come, and we should, because this is a climate change story.
When did that kid become a weatherman? Bring him back. Take his canoe away. What does the science actually say about any of this? Michael Shellenberger is the author of Apocalypse Never, Why Environmental Alarmism Hurts Us All, and we're happy to have him join us tonight. Mr. Shellenberger, thanks so much. So do you believe that this storm happened because Republicans have not yet voted for the infrastructure bill?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some pretty outrageous statements over the last 24 hours. I mean, look, what people have to understand is that floods are not just because of rain. It's also because we haven't done enough flood management. So we have had agreement. There is bipartisan agreement that we need to improve the infrastructure in New York to manage heavy rains. We did that in New Orleans, actually. After Hurricane Katrina, we did have power outages after Hurricane Ida hit. But the levees that they constructed after Hurricane Katrina held. The Army Corps of Engineers did a good job. We should have had a warning after Hurricane Sandy in New York. They did not do what they needed to do to prepare for this heavy rain. That's the cause of the flooding. We are going to see some more precipitation, some more rain in some parts of the world because of increasing temperatures. But you can't blame floods on climate change when we know the central factor is flood management. It's the same thing with forest fires that we've talked about. It's all about forest management to prevent those high-intensity fires. It's not about modestly higher temperatures.
Has there ever been a time in history where a political party used the weather to indict the moral character of the other political party? That seems a little bit like witchcraft. I'm just throwing that out there.
It's definitely been a trend throughout human history to blame your political enemies for various weather events, and I think that is a pretty apt comparison right now. The irony is that Democrats are pushing for a huge investment in making our electricity even more dependent on the weather. So while the Democrats are talking a lot about extreme weather events, they're pushing for greater dependence on weather-dependent energy sources like solar panels manufactured in China, wind turbines, which depend on the wind. Those things we have seen make grids more vulnerable in California, in Texas, because when you put big money into those technologies, they just sit on top of the infrastructure that we have. They don't provide any additional resilience, and we end up underinvesting in the kind of weatherization that we need in order to survive these extreme weather events.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you really wanted to destroy your civilization, you'd put low IQ political extremists in charge of your power grid. Let's hope we don't do that. That's my hope. Anyway.